Hi, my name is Matt Carroll with World Class Coaching. And today, with the help of Academy Sports Coach 2023, I wanted to talk to you about this session that I've created for building out the back, where I got a lot of these ideas from the book that are available on the website called Build Up from the Back, Exercise 1 by Luca Bertolini. And there's also parts 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to put that in the comments section so you can check that out. Breaks it down into different parts of it, different little things that you're going to want to be involved in your build-up play. Goalkeeper distribution here, distribution of the flanks, switching play from flank to flank. The Lavolpe exit, possession rondos, position games, a lot of really great detail in here with demos and graphics and all that stuff. So that really inspired my session here today. And I think at the heart of it, if you're going to play out the back, you need to have players that are able to play 1v1. And we're not talking about 1v1 to beat a man and find a shot or 1v1 to mag somebody, those kind of things, the flair. We're looking for that 1v1 dribbling ability to be calm, under pressure on the ball, and create an opportunity for a pass. So I really like this 1v1. I call it 1v1 to target. Now, you can start with just regular 1v1 just to warm up and activate your players, get them on the ball, get them getting that mindset of taking touches, finding space, going at them, pulling the moves out and things like that. But I really like this concept of the 1v1 to target, where you have a player going against another player with a target player at the other end. And you generally would have a line of players here, but for the graphic, just going to make it look like this. So, this player defending chops in. Okay. We talk about a number of different things when we're going at play. We want to try to play or move when the defender is still moving or they're flat-footed. So either way, we're trying to create enough space, and we're not trying to create enough space to go beat them and dribble past them or anything like that. What we're trying to do is create enough angle that we can get a pass off. Because when you're under pressure in a building out the back situation, you're going to have finite angles. You're going to have very small space to work in, and you're trying to get that ball off to an open player while under pressure. So all we're looking for is bang, play this out here, just create enough space to get a pass off. That's all you do is to be able to play forward. What then happens is this target player immediately, no, don't want to delete him. This target player then immediately takes the pass they just received, and their first touch should be into space. The way I like to describe it is, and this player goes to the end of this line, this player goes to the end of this line, and I'm just having color coded for the initial stance, but they would be different players. But I like to have them the concept of like a 60-40 ball. They take a big touch that draws the defender in. Defender comes in. They're still moving, right? They're coming flying in because they think they have a chance of the ball. They think it's 50-50, but we know it's 60-40. So then we pull the ball one side, and we've got a flyby. And that should create enough time that we play a ball here and we can go forward. So I really like this concept of the 1v1 to a target because we're talking about getting a pass off in tight angles, using the dribble to create the space for that pass. So it's not just a 1v1 where beat your guy, go past him, things like that. We're taking the 1v1 and being comfortable on the ball in order to execute the pass, which is exactly what we're looking for when we're building at the back. So then what I would go from here is, move this here. I like this concept of breaking down the field into parts and having passing patterns that are based off of that. Oh, I'm in trouble with my red. There we go. So I like this concept of, let's imagine this line here is the 18. Okay, and this is the wider area here. So we're going to play in a situation where we've got 3v2. Because you're going to be probably numbers up in these situations, but the space is going to be tight, which is going to allow for some advantages for these players. So I like the concept here of you have a couple balls here, you have a coach over here, and a 3v2 situation, and I have a goal here, which would represent going forward to the wide areas, and maybe a goal here, which is representative of cutting into our center midfielders. So the ball played from a wide area to the coach, and it should be as soon as the ball is played. Okay, I'd have these players back turned so they can't see it. So as soon as they see the ball, they can go pressure this player. And the idea of that is that we're immediately going to be under pressure, receiving the pass, trying to go forward here into, again, tight areas, but numbers up. So what we're doing is we're going to communicate to these players that they should be giving cover and support if we lose the ball, but also worry about support here down low to have a backwards option. And this player either checking here to play to the wide areas or checking in between to split these guys. And what we're basically doing is every single time we roll the pass out, we're recreating the opportunity for us to read the situation of a similar situation to what we'll have in a build-out play. So the way I like to think about it is we can't tell them, okay, in this position, this is what you should do this. When this happens, you should do this, because it doesn't work like that. So we're recreating an example of that happening over and over and over again. So they have a toolkit of, okay, this happened this time and I did this and it worked, or I did this time, it didn't work. They're getting that idea, and they've seen these pictures a million times, and they can call upon what they did in those situations and then answer those in the game. And I think that's going to be a much more, a much better way of having them understand situations and telling them, this is how we play. Well, this is a general idea of how we play, and this is how you can utilize this to build out. So we move from there. We're moving it bigger and bigger. And now we'll make it at field, and we'll play. Let me change colors. There we go. And we'll play however you want to do your build out play. Are you going to drop center backs wide? Are you able to play with a guy into the box here? So again, whatever you want, whatever the tactical aspect you want to run it, I would run that against an opposition. Now, the way I like to do it is we'll go half field. We have some pug goals here. Let's build out lines, representing the wide areas. Maybe make a really small goal in the middle, but for now, just put 2 goals here. Make it more challenging up the middle, like it will be an actual game. And I would go against nobody. Okay, you're talking about build out situations. Like when this here, we're worried about body shape. It's not about like playing and just getting the ball off and be like, okay, cool, we're running through it. No, it's about body shape. Hey, you're receiving this pass, but I'm telling you, when you get into a game situation, that's not going to come off because you're shielding yourself. You're not going to be able to see this. When you turn, it's going to take too many touches. Whatever it is, you're teaching those basic elements of it, and worrying about that. And then as you go, you're adding more and more guys. So maybe we go 2 guys will press initially against this build-up play, and they'll build a 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. And we're just continually adding pressure to the situation, and we're giving them time to develop the body position they're going to need to receive at the back, angling forward, the appropriate runs, and we're scaling continually up the difficulty over and over and over again. So that we're going from, hey, this is the definite technical skills we need, being able to play 1v1 and find a pass, off the ball runs in a 3v2, to, okay, how can we apply these tactically against pressure, and the pressure is constantly building. And they're getting, again, all these different situations over and over and over again. So when they're called upon to act on these in the game, they are able to see these situations they've already implemented, rather than being like, I have one thing coach told me to do, and I have to execute this now, and if it doesn't work, well, coach told me to do it, so it's all we can do. And I think it's going to create better decision-making players. Because I always feel with the build-out, it's something you want your team to do, but you also want your team to read the situation. Now, if you're building out every single time and you're giving up, possession, I get it. You want your players to go through things, and you want them to be able to do all that stuff, and you want them to be able to play out the back and play that right way. And it's not about results, but it's also, hey, if you're playing at the back and you pull those guys in, you want your guys to be tactically aware of, hey, now we can play over the top of these guys' heads, play long, and we're going to go on, right on the goal, because we've drawn them in, and that's the purpose of the build-out play. And I think this type of way of interacting with your session is going to allow for your players to recognize those situations and not just execute a set piece. This is a set piece, we're playing at the back, this is how it works. To recognize why we're playing at the back, how it works, how it affects the opposition, and how we're utilizing that to then go and effectively try to score goals. So I'd love to hear about your build-out play in the comment section, and how you utilize build-out play in your sessions, but also some of the ways you attack it within the game, and some of your viewpoints, and whether you agree or disagree with some of the things I said in my description of the session. So for world-class coaching, and with the Help Academy Sports Coach 2023, and the book Build from Back, Exercise 1 by Luca Bertolini, I hope this session finds you well.